Vámonos, sabecito. What? Phins Talk today. Phins Talk today. Oh, Phins Talk, baby. Miami, stand up. This is Phins Talk today. Let's go. Sun up over there. Game day on the brain. From the tailgate smoke to the hard count rain. Orange aqua on my back. Crowd shaking every seat. We talking ball, talking heat. Turn it up, feel that beat. Phins Talk today. Phins Talk today. Phins up all day from the 305. We ride that way. Bobby Phins Talk. Phins Sammy on the way. Miami, vamos. It's Phins Talk today. Hey. It's Phins Talk today. Who you reppin'? Who you riding? Miami. Who you riding? Dolphins. We break it down, break it live. Every snap, every drop. Hey. Phins Talk today. Phins up all day from the 305. We ride that wave. Phins Talk. Phins Sammy on the way. Miami. Vamos. It's Phins Talk today. Hey. Phins Talk today.
Man, oh man, if that music doesn't get you going, I don't know what does. What is up, everyone? Welcome to Phins Talk today here on FTSN, powered by FTSN and Phins TV and TD Phins Talk, streaming there as well. TD, my man, it has been a minute. How the hell are you, brother?
I'm doing great, man. A beautiful day. I'm excited, man. Bobby, we back together, baby. It's been like forever, man. We did a collab back in the day. I don't even know how long ago it was, but first of all, we're not going to pass right by that intro. And now that got me going. That got me going. I really enjoyed that. That was pretty dope, y'all. But I'm glad to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
No, 100%. As you said, it's been a little while. Like, again, you TD Phins with a PH, Bobby Phins Talk with an FINS. You were distant cousins, so I'm glad that we get the family back together here. Talk Dolphins, because the last time we talked, it was probably a year or two into Tua. Now we're post Tua, post Flores, post McDaniel. Now we're on the other side of it. So I cannot wait to talk to you about Malik Willis, Sully, Halfley, just get through it. Before we get into it, Sammy, my man, woo! Sammy, how you doing, brother?
Hey, baby, how you doing, brother? TD, great to have you here. It's been, for being the off season, with the OTAs and everything, it's, not a lot to talk about. There's some excitement. We're going to debate how much the success we're going to have during the season, but I can see a lot of excitement. I like that. I don't care what the end record is going to be, but I like Dolphins fans to engage, happy, and, hopeful. Well, but we'll talk about what's going to happen during the season.
Yes, sir. The energy is on the rise, though. That's what I love. Yes. I'm loving the feeling right now. Even, a lot of people doubting us, but I know we're going to talk about that. But I'm having fun with it right now. The Dolphins, I'm an optimistic person right now. I'm high on us.
And again, why wouldn't you? Again, like I said, for this next year, no one should go in with any type of real expectation, but just let the process play out. For years, it's like, oh, let's get a new coach, right? Get rid of Flores, get rid of McDaniel. But you always had the same guy, Chris Greer. Now Greer's gone. Now we got a new coach. We got a new GM. And the main thing here that I think, at least with this football team, that people should have a little more inspiration and be excited about is that you got a coach and a GM and maybe just the front office with the shared vision. No one's having ulterior motives. Nobody's going three different directions here. So that's something to be excited about. TD, I know you've probably talked about this on Roundtable, on the Collective, on your channel, but we haven't been together. So I just want to get your thoughts. Finally, Greer out the door, McDaniel out the door, new GM, new coach, two guys and a shared vision. I love everything that I've heard from these guys. I want to hear what you think of these two guys. I mean, we obviously haven't seen Coach Half coach a game yet, but just seeing the press conferences, seeing what they did in the draft, seeing what they've been doing in OTAs. What's your thoughts on these two guys?
Yeah, Jeff Halfley, John Eric Sullivan, I'm excited about their futures, man. Jeff Halfley, we don't know much, and I'll talk about him in a moment, but we don't know much because he hasn't been on the clock. He's been one of the individuals who's had zero accountability up until this point because nobody's looking at him on who we pick. All eyes are on John Eric Sullivan, but that transition is happening right now where we start focusing a little less on John Eric Sullivan and start to pay attention to Jeff Hafley. But I'll start with John Eric Sullivan, our general manager. I feel like he is bringing the tone at the top of the organization. This is where you have to set the tone for the Miami Dolphins. It has to happen with the general manager all the way down, and proof that he's setting the tone. He's being very a matter of fact with a lot of players, when you see the video that came out today of him walking around on the field and talking to guys and coaching them up, there was some accountability all up and down it, hey, don't make the same mistake twice, after correcting somebody. And then moving forward, Malik, hey, he's the ultimate leader, but you know what? That's my job. He needs to focus on the playbook right now. That's starting from the top, like letting everybody know who the general is. And this is my intensity. This is how I think about things. This is how I feel. This is how I move. So I expect everybody to follow suit. So his leadership has been amazing already. But above that, I love his first draft. This was his first draft. A lot of people were skeptical of who they should have took or would have taken. Hey, I always try to tell people, the general manager has a vision. We brought him in to execute his vision, not mine, not yours, Bobby, not yours, Sammy. Execute his vision. Now, it will behoove everybody to learn his vision first before you criticize it.
100%.
So now the beautiful part is I feel he's dropped enough nuggets up to this point to give us his vision. And what is his vision? He wants to run the football. He wants to be a physical team led by the offensive line while the rest of the team grows. This will help us sustain. And what did we do? The draft had run the football all over it, blocking wide receivers, blocking tight ends, Caden Proctor. And so if we did what we did last year with Devon Achane, and we're coming into this season with a better O-line, with better blocking tight ends and physical receivers, we're going to run the heck out of the football. So mission one of his vision, I already see it coming into fruition. Now the team has to go execute, and that's where Jeff Hafley comes in, where he has to make that vision work.
I love that you say that, because the one thing I will say, and I said this through our draft coverage, and one thing, because like you said, there's a lot of Dolphin fans who do mock drafts 24/7, and when we don't get the guy they think we should get, they're all, oh, this already sucks. This is that. It's like, wait a second, he ain't lying to you. He's been telling you exactly what he's going to do. If you go back and watch and listen to everything that Sullivan has said, it's hit the nail on the head. When something goes different, when you notice that we said the four guys, the four pillars, the foundational pieces, Achane, Brewer, Paul, Jordan Brooks, those are guys they want to keep. When they brought up Jalen Waddle, it's kind of like, and Jalen Waddle's gone. What about Tua? Well, we'll see. We like him. Well, Tua's gone. A lot of those they're out the door. So he's stuck pretty much to his word. And if people pay attention, he's doing exactly what he's been talking about. Fast goes slow, but big doesn't go small. And we talk about that. You get Caden Proctor. We all wanted an offensive lineman. Just, we didn't get the lineman we wanted, supposedly, right? But you watch this guy, you look at him, you're going, damn, this guy, for me, TD, when I look at offensive linemen, and again, we're streaming, we're on FTSN Phins Talk Sports Network, streaming on TD Phins Talk, at Phins TV Twitter, on Twitter, wherever you guys are watching. We appreciate you tuning in. Whenever you have a chance, hop on over here on Phins Talk Sports Network, hit that subscribe button, subscribe to TD Phins Talk, subscribe to Phins TV. Appreciate you guys. But if this is your first time watching this show, or watching me, what I love is you build on the inside out. And that's what Sullivan's about. Building that offensive line, building those trenches, get girthy. Got to get those big girthy dudes. And that's what we did, if you look at it. And so that's why I'm very excited about where this team is headed. Sammy, right? We talked about this. And TD, you're 100% right. Coach Hafley, we can't talk about him really yet. We got to wait and see how he responds, how he manages the clock going into next season. But Sully, so far, passing grade, right, Sammy?
Absolutely. Today I was very surprised. I heard today Alan Pupar, your partner on the collective, talking to Joe Rosa about how impressed he's with Jeff Hafley. So the command, the way he talks to the team, the way he commands the huddle, the practice, the way he talks to the media, and he's for Alan Pupar to be impressed. And you work with Alan Pupar weekly, so he's not easy to please, if you know what I mean.
That's true.
So the fact that he's talking so encouraging about the fact that Hafley has the command, and you're completely on the money. Everything has been said about Sullivan, and like so many times, Bobby and I have talked before about Sullivan having a target in his back because it's draft season, but everything that he said will do, he did. So Jeff Abley right now is a good start. He has the command of the team. The presence compared to the former coach that sometimes it was a little difficult. Some moments that you wonder where you're going. They are a team together. They're doing the right things. They're talk the talk. So far, they walk the walk. Of course, you have to translate that to the field. We have to wait when the facts come on. We have to wait and see. But what are your thoughts, TD? TD, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll say this. First, let's go back to Allen. He is very critical, and he wants to wait to see it. And I'm gonna be honest, I really lean on Allen's, words, because he's not moved by any of it. He has no vested interest, and he just tells it how it is. And for him to say that goes a long way, and that's why I feel like Miami Dolphin fans, they should really be encouraged, because there's a lot of boxes these guys have to check. But they're going down the list, and they're all getting checked as we go down. We still got a long list that we got to check, but they're starting to make the marks, piece by piece. And it all is going to end up coming down to what happens when they hit the field. It's all that matters, But I just personally feel like we're finally building it properly, and and they have a plan in place. And whether it's a good plan or not, that is to be seen. But the only thing that's important to me is knowing that they are succeeding in executing their plan. Now we just got to see if it works. So,
I love that you said that. I love that you said, because that's what I said. I agree with you. I'm like, look, I don't know. We don't, I'm not saying that it's going to work. It's going to be successful. We don't know that. We got to wait and see. What I appreciate is, again, their vision is getting executed. They're doing exactly what they said they're going to do. And these are two guys, again, and Sully has said it. He's like, hey, look, I'm the GM. This is my decision. Hafley's the coach. I'll talk to him, but in the end, it's my decision. So they know what their roles are. That's something that we haven't had the last few years. You always have that infighting and crap that gone down. Talking about vision, you brought this up with the draft. There were a lot of people, our Dolphin fans, that were pissed off on draft night. They had Ruben Bain on there. There he is. He's available. They go Caden Proctor. I want to know, what were your expectations going into the draft? How did you feel on draft night? And now, a couple weeks later, how are you feeling right now about this draft class?
First of all, I'll start with the last one. I feel amazing about this draft class. I couldn't be happier, to be quite honest with you. I feel like they made all the right picks in the first at least 6 picks, and a few sprinkles on the back end too. But I really don't. I'm be honest, I don't focus too much on the later rounds until they make a name for themselves. Just a statistic thing for me. When it's worth it, I'll dig in. But I feel like they nailed the first 6, and I add Cal Lewis to that. So there's 7 in that number that I'm talking about. But I feel like they kind of nailed it. They knew what they wanted to do, and that's what they went out of. It didn't matter that Ruben Bain was there. They want to run the football. We need to lock that down first and foremost. You got to score points in this league. I used to be a firm believer that defense wins championships, but 2 defenses just keep tying at 0. Somebody got to put some points up. Somebody got to score the football. So we know what our strength is right now. Even if we didn't get Proctor, we ran the ball well last year. So even if we didn't get Proctor, I feel like, how could it have been worse than last year? And we ran it well. Now you add Proctor, you add the tight end. I love it. But as far as that first pick overall with Proctor, this was an amazing pick. This is a mammoth of a man, 350 pounds right now, in the best shape of his life. A lot of people speculating what he'll start the season with. I think he's going to shock the world and be 340. Nobody believes it, but I think he's going to get down to 340. That South Florida Heat and training camp is going to serve its purpose. And him getting down to 340, being lighter on feet that already move at the pace that they move, is going to be one scary thing. They really are going to be maulers on the left side with Patrick Paul and himself. And you add Brewer into that, man. That's just some beautiful stuff on that left side. We have an anchored situation. Now, if these guys can stay healthy, I think we're going to see something we haven't seen in 15 years, since Jay Ajayi. I think even though Achane may have statistical values that might even be better, but Jay Ajayi, We remember what that was. We remember what that brought to us. And I think that's what the case can be moving forward in this current situation, if not better. It's time for a Pro Bowl for Devon Achane. It's time for him to be recognized with the elites of the league, Gibbs and all of those guys. So I love the draft pick. I think he nailed it. And did you see the recent report that we might have actually stole him from a team that was trying to trade up?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So
the Detroit Lions, I think, we're trying to trade up and grab him.
Yes.
yeah, that's why you don't listen to these people talking about, oh, we reached or anything like that. When you have a player that you love, you go get them. There ain't no value. I don't care. And I know this is outrageous, but I'm using it to make an example. I don't care if it's a 3rd round prospect, you get him in the 1st round because you love him that much. It doesn't matter. You go get him because you don't risk losing him to someone else that sees what you see. So I love that they went and got the guy that they wanted.
Man, TD, we should have been together on that draft night, dude. You had a bunch of crew. They're all coming at me. I was like, they're like, oh, we reached. We could have got him in the 3rd round. You don't freaking know that. You don't know that.
Yeah.
On your board, which is probably PFSN, you're talking about a team's board. They had some guy higher. So I love that you're saying that. Man, listen, another thing, obviously quarterback position, maybe the most important position on a team, no matter what team you could be when you're running the ball or whatever. One of, famous with the Tua criticisms and saying people coming at you, and you planted that flag and you lived with it and you fought it. You're over that hill. We're past that point. He's in Atlanta now. Malik Willis. Man, Malik Willis. We bring him in. I'll get my point across, but I want to hear from you. When Miami, what were your thoughts? Like, what did you want Miami to do at quarterback after post Tua? And when they brought in Malik, what are your feelings on Malik Willis going into this coming season?
When they brought in Malik, I mean, honestly, I was just excited. I know who Malik Willis is. I know what he's going to bring to the table. I studied this guy. At first I was very skeptical because I'm just like the typical person. When you don't have time to do your research, the typical human being is going to go with what the masses think. Without, it's just a natural thing, So therefore, if I didn't do any homework on Malik, everybody says he sucks. Oh, he's not all of that, all he does is run the ball and it's nothing special, So I said that myself. But when we brought him in the building, I was excited because a few days before I did my research. I went and watched every drop back in Tennessee and in Green Bay. These are 2 different players. Like the Green Bay Packers, Malik Willis does not exist anymore. And people need to get that out of your head. I see a well-polished, ready to prove it to the world quarterback that has an opportunity to become a franchise quarterback of an organization because his tool belt has everything. It has everything. Now, when I say it has everything, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being elite and 1 being terrible, everything on his tool belt at a minimum is a 7. So there's some things that's a 7. There's some things that's an 8. His mobility is a 10. His deep ball accuracy and off script play is a 10. So all the intangibles, everything is over 7. Everything. So when you have a quarterback like that, it's just a matter of coaching, because if the coaching gets it together, you have one of the better quarterbacks in the league, a top 10 guy, even if it's fringing between that 8 to 12 mark all the time, but you have one. In his skill sets, he actually has it. The problem why people, when they hear that from me, they freak out and they start to say, oh my gosh, wait for him to prove it, is because they don't believe it. Many of them don't believe it. You have to look at specific traits and what a quarterback is capable of. So when it comes to Malik Willis, this is why I feel the way I feel, Bobby and Sammy. So I compare it to Tua Tagovailoa a lot. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
No, you finish your point. I'll
go ahead. Yeah.
I compare it to Tua Tagovailoa a lot. I look at Malik Willis and I say, what could Tua do that he can't? There was nothing there. Okay. Mm-hmm. And it may be, hey, Tua spot throws with accuracy at a 10 out of 10, but Malik is an 8 out of 10. You see what I mean? So any strength he has, he still passes, right? But then I said, what does Malik do that Tua doesn't? And I kept listing things. His deep ball accuracy is on point. Don't have to come back to get the ball, right? His throws outside the numbers are amazing. He has the arm strength because under Tua's era for 6 years, we never ran a comeback. We never ran an out route. A dig. We never ran an outside the numbers dig. Get to the first down mark, turn around. We never ran that route because his arm strength would. I'm lying. We did run it under Flores, and they became pick sixes, primarily in the Jets game. That'll show you. But yeah, so that's what I compare it to. He has the things that limited Tua. The things that limited Tua, he actually has. So I'm excited to see what I believe is an elevation of what Tua Tagovailoa could have been.
So what you talk about on the field, first off, right, this is your points. At Liberty, explosive rookie. A lot of people thought he was going to be a first-round pick, but again, the quarterback position in that draft did not work out. He goes in, he's a great character guy coming out of Liberty. I liked him a lot when I was doing my draft stuff when he was coming out. Goes to Tennessee, struggles in Tennessee, but everybody struggled in Tennessee at that time. Nobody was successful. Will Levis and so forth. So he moves off, goes to Green Bay, is the backup there, doesn't have a lot of playing time, right? So when you got fans who are like, this guy's he's a third-round quarterback, second-string guy out of Green Bay, just on the comment, average quarterback like Jordan Love. We know that's not true, but goes to Green Bay. Look, I'll tell you the other side of it, why I'm excited about Malik Willis. Okay. You brought the field stuff, which is 100% true. He has all the traits, right? You said, man, what can he do that, or what can't he do that Tua does? Well, I'll tell you what Tua can't do that he does is run the damn ball. He's an explosive player. He can extend plays. Tua can't. Yeah. Tua's slower than molasses right now, scared to get hit. That's not Malik Willis, right? So here's the thing with Malik Willis, that he offers that other guys don't. Because the other guy, man, we could have got Jimmy G. We could have got this guy, whatever, right? Or Mac Jones in San Francisco, whomever. Why do we get Malik Willis? If Miami didn't go get Malik Willis, that would have told me a lot more about Malik Willis. What makes me feel better about it is that Coach Halfley and John Eric Sullivan saw this guy every day. They saw him behind the scenes. They saw him in the film room. They saw the preparation that he did as the backup quarterback. Okay. They saw, like, when this guy, okay, he doesn't, you're a backup guy. We don't expect you to do a lot, right? You know you're not going to start. He prepared as a starter. And when he got his opportunity to start, he showed up and showed out. So if they decided when he was a free agent and they go, you know what, no, we're going to go ahead and go after Mac Jones or Jimmy G, then I would say, that's all I need to know about Malik Willis. We know because they've seen this kid every day. But because they made it a priority when they didn't have the money, they didn't have to, nobody really expected it to happen. They kept saying it. I didn't expect it, TD, but we heard the rumors because we knew the cap space. But what do? They go and call him. They work it out. He says, I want to go to Miami because I believe in Coach Halfley and Sullivan. They go get him. That's why I'm excited about Malik Willis. Again, we'll preference this, TD. We don't know what the end game is, but we know what the vision is. And they go, you know what? This is our guy. This is the guy that we want to build this team upon. Or also the guys that come behind him go, hey, this is the type of work ethic you need to bring in here to be our guy. Yes, that's what Malik Willis brings. What you said about the talent is there, but it's the work ethic that stands out.
Bingo. And some people question the last quarterback in that area, and I love that you say that because people think that we're prison to Malik Willis. If it doesn't work out, we'll just draft one. We're just going to draft one early 100%. Next year. Yep. But I am telling you, don't let that in this whole narrative of overtaking for this quarterback. Like, y'all are already dismissing this guy. You might be missing out on your future, enjoying it in its earliest stage. And that's what I encourage people. I'm telling you, get behind it, because this could be the beginning of 15 years later where we're literally proud of what the Dolphins have done the last 15 years.
And I love that you say, and that's something I got to, the fans should kind of get to grips with is, look, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, right? Because guess what? This is what this team's about. He said it right. Hey, we'll draft a guy every year. And if a guy's great, he's our starter. If another guy's great, we'll go ahead and use that as trade bait. This works. But if Malik Willis hits and he has all the tools to do it, if he hits, guess what? We don't have to worry about Arch Manning next year or Lenore Sellers and all that, which are great quarterbacks or potential. Then we can look at Jeremiah Smith or Coleman out of Texas, right? Or you could go look at edge rusher. If edge rusher continues to be a problem, you could go look at Taylor or Cameron. You know, like there is some talent out there in that draft going in next year. Trust me. Now, but again, you want Malik Willis to hit, and guess what? He has all the tools. TD brings up the field, the talent on the field. I talk about behind the scenes. It's all there, man. He has all the tools. And that goes into our next topic, which is Devon Achane. TD, I don't know how many times I got to tell you, my man, that I argue with people, some people online and on all year about Devon Achane. Oh, he's a mid running back. Oh, we should not extend him. Oh, he's this, he's that. So I haven't heard from you. So I want to hear from you, but I'll tell you, it's not just the talent. You brought up about where he could be a Pro Bowler. Maybe he's in that conversation of elite guys. I think he's teetering on that. I think he could get there, especially with this new and improved offensive line and what this team is about next year with this run game. But the extension was not just because of his talent and him being the most consistent best offensive player for this team. You could always count on him to produce or give his 100%, but also for the same reason for Malik Willis, the work he puts in. When the whole team was going to hell and everybody else was basically packing it in, he was always giving you 110%. He was, when the game was over, the game was dead, he was getting killed in the end zone trying to run in for a touchdown because that's what he does. That's the type of player he is. So I love that Miami extended him for the same reason why Miami went and got Malik Willis. It's the example you set for the guys you're bringing in after that. It's the culture you're building here in Miami. What are your thoughts on Devon Achane getting extended? Do you agree with that? How did you feel about that?
Yeah, this was a great move. Homegrown, obviously, one of the leaders on the team. He never gave up. He always did his job. He had some injury concerns early on, but he was able to, move himself, to a healthier version. And that version is a legit top 3, top 5 running back in the NFL, in my opinion. I love him for the Miami Dolphins. Humble guy, nice, fun, charismatic, just a good person, that's down to earth. And he's a good culture guy, gets along with everybody, doesn't have any issues. And that's what you need in the building. You see him and Hafley already chopping it up about coaching the whole team. Achane joking with him. You got us pick sides and stuff like that. He deserves every penny, man. And you want to see stories like this. What round did we get him in again?
It's the third round, I believe, right?
Third round. You want to see stories like this. Look at the third round pick who got the big deal, Yep. Look at the 5th round. So this is exactly what it's about and what you can be proud of for individuals and the Miami Dolphins as a whole. But he's an explosive back. I was skeptical about Achane before last year. I've always said, hey, the O-line has been giving him some really nice holes. And, he's been making plays, but those are some pretty nice run lanes to choose from. And this year, they forced him to break tackles because it wasn't as good, and he met a lot of players. Do you know that out of his 3,000 rushing yards he has so far in his career, 2,000 of them are after contact?
Wow. Yep.
Like literally over 66% of them are after contact. That's massive. And to average his average, we got us a top guy, and we're going to lean on him this year as that pass game get better and those receivers get better. And I think we're going to shock everybody. And real quick, if you don't mind, Bobby and Sammy, I see a lot of people on my channel watching right now. I need y'all to do me a favor. I don't even want you to watch it on the channel. It's on the channel so all right? So that this channel is here. I already dropped the link, and it's pinned at the top of the chat. Click on it and watch it over here with us, all right? Make sure you click on it right now. All right, get off of my channel, come over here and watch it, and make sure you subscribe as well, man. These guys provide consistent, amazing content, and I'm a huge fan, and I appreciate y'all doing the work you do because we sometimes want to watch people too, right? We want to sit back and enjoy as fans. So I appreciate what you guys do for the Dolphins community.
Thank you, TD. I appreciate you, brother. And thank you for everybody tuning in right now. Yeah, if you could hop on over and keep the conversation going. And yes, I saw there Lenore Sellis' wide receiver, Nick Harbor. That's another wide receiver to look at, size, speed, everything else. And again, another part of the class that I love. We got 2 very good young wide receivers. I know a lot of people on Caleb Douglas. Oh, there's that other thing about reaching and everything. Size, speed, he gives it all. But I'm so excited about Chris Bell. I cannot wait to see when he's healthy, what he can be for this team. Man, that guy should have been picked in the 1st round. We got him later. Trust me, we're going to hit. We're talking a lot about a lot of these players. And TD, for the first time in a while, my man, we're not gonna have to worry about hot seats. Is this GM on the hot seat? Is the coach on the hot seat? But we're gonna have to worry about players. We're gonna keep. I think there's some players on the hot seat. Again, there's guys, right? We know Devon Achane, Jordan Brooks, Aaron Brewer, Patrick Paul. Those are guys and Malik Willis that the management and the coaching staff, they're like, hey, these are the guys we're modeling after. Everybody has to model after them. There's other guys that didn't really come up to par last year. There are guys that got new deals. They phoned it in. There's guys like Chop who had a good first year, slumped in second year, which the whole team did. This is his third year. Targets on him. Salvanera moving to the right side, which was the right decision. He should be. I still believe in him. We'll see. But, what are some players that you think could be on the hot seat next season for the Miami Dolphins that, look, Tua Tagovailoa, they signed up to a new deal. They don't care about the cap hit. They kicked him out the door. Tyreek Hill, don't care how great he could be. They kicked him out the door. They traded Jalen Waddle. So who's that next player that you think, hey, if he doesn't live up to his end of the bargain, we could see him outside the door?
That's a great question. Let me say this. I only have one player on the whole team because I don't think many people are on the hot seat. When you really look at it, all those 1-year deals, we already know what the expectation is. The one player that's probably on the hot seat would be Kenneth Grant.
Yeah.
Kenneth Grant. I think that he needs to have a improved season, or they may be trading him the next offseason as a former first round. Maybe let's get him a new location and get a, fourth round pick, third round pick for him and see if somebody want to see what they can get out of him, So he has to be impactful this year because that's why he has to be able to help us feel good about, hey, Zach, thank you so much for your services this year. Next year it's time to move on. And that's Zach Sealer. He doesn't fit on this team. Great player, but his age and the future, it doesn't fit. Unless he continues to play great and has a Calais Campbell type career and we keep extending it. But I think Kenneth Grant is the one that's really on the hot seat. Austin Jackson isn't because almost everybody feels like he has an 85% chance of being gone next year, no matter what happens. That's why you draft. That's why you draft Caden Proctor because he's going to be on that right. So he's going to be gone. And so everybody on the team, it's almost like we already know what their future holds. And nobody's on the hot seat. Jordan Brooks coming off of an all-pro. He not on a hot seat. It's just, Can he get a deal? Aaron Brewer coming, same thing almost. He's not on the hot seat. No one's on the hot seat on this roster other than Kenneth Grant, in my opinion. And one more, but we're not going to call it the hot seat. But technically he is. Malik Willis. You got to tell us now. You have to tell us this year. You can. Well, you play solid and we want to keep growing. You got to tell us because next year's draft, we can't pass talent up. If it's right there in our face and if we have a good draft pick, which I doubt, I think it'll be better than people think. But he's on the hot seat too. He got to do it in year one. He has to do it.
It's a great point because Alex on East Country Boys said the same thing. We were talking about this, and he's like, "Hey, Malik Willis, for the reasons we brought up, right? We said all the good stuff, but let's be real. Again, third round pick. He was a backup in Green Bay. Now this is your opportunity to start. And yeah, you could say, oh, but what about the weapons? Does he make the most out of those weapons? And if it's a run first offense, when you do have the opportunities, you got to make that play. I love that you brought Kenneth Grant. I am going to say Zach Sealer. I think Zach Sealer with that contract, again, being that veteran guy, I do believe that he's a guy that could be in potential trade bait at the deadline if the team is not doing well or he's not doing well enough where they're like, hey, let's go ahead and get these young guys more of a chance. Adrian, the Rainy Day Podcast, shout out to Adrian, says Ewers is on the seat. Interesting. Sammy, who's on the hot seat for you in terms of a player?
I'm on the record saying that Kenneth Grant is a guy for me. And, there are reports already he came overweight to training camp. If you're in the second year, that's what I heard today on the Joe Rose show. If you are on your second year with a new coaching staff and you're coming overweight, that could be a problem. Though, of course, Sabanea, so much expectation. Again, when you had to trade assets, not only a second round pick to assets to get someone, and his disappointment and right at the next to the worst guard in the league. Hopefully, a change of course of side will be beneficial to him. Austin Jackson already hurt. Probably you said it last week that Austin Jackson just thought that he was going to be in the hot seat, and already he's in the injured list. And Malik Willis is a good pick just because of the fact that we talked so many times about Tua Tagovailoa, not being the quarterback that was good enough to overcome, the adversity. Not the kind of quarterback that was good enough to, to lift your team above the adversity. So if Malik Willis doesn't do it next year, you have to basically judge it by the same scale you everybody judged Tua Tagovailoa. So I don't expect him, to burn the city because that team of course has a lot of problems. A young team, we had to a lot of ways to see a lot of question marks. But there's some things on the field that might be encouraging from Malik Willis. The leadership, the way he approached the game, never quitting, staying in the pocket and throwing the ball instead of start running every time he feels the pressure. Those are the things that you would like to see from Malik Willis. So
yes,
my first of course will be Kenneth Grant, just because of the fact that his first round pick you have to hit, and Joe Sabanea, of course, the second round pick, which you traded assets to get. So those are my first two guys. But Malik Willis and Austin Jackson are also on that list.
There you go. Let's see. Phins Take. What's up, Phins Take? With CB83 there. It says Malik on the hot seat. You better play ball. There you go. CB there. Raphael, what's up? Good to see you, sir. Appreciate everybody dropping in here. Devin says, I think Arvell Reese is a bust. David says he thinks David Bailey is a bust. Interesting.
Okay.
A little early, but it's all right. But no, I love the hot seat talk because, again, don't think for one moment that just because a guy is extended or has a big contract that John R. Sullivan won't drop him like a bad habit. I mean, he already did that. He traded Jalen Waddle. I talked about that being a possibility early on, and when he did get traded, everybody's kind of surprised. But I mean, he kind of let the cat out of the bag when they were asking him about potential, who are those guys? He said, man, those four foundational pieces, Achane, Brewer, Paul, Jordan Brooks. Those are the four guys. And Travis Wingfield was the one who brought up Jalen Waddle, and he's like, oh yeah, Jalen's great. Jalen's good. But he didn't name him as his foundational piece. Jalen Waddle gets moved. And Jalen Waddle is a very good young player. He's still, he has potential upside. But and again, very early on in his career, I was like, this guy's a 1A, 1B receiver. Then when a year into or 2 years into Tyreek Hill, he dropped off the face of the earth. You couldn't really rely on him anymore. And in games, he was there, but he just fall off, injured, out, drop a ball here and there. It's like consistency is a key in football. And he just fell off. So what happens? He's out the door. So don't think that none of these guys, if they just do not show up, Kenneth Grant, we drafted him in the first round. If he's not living up to that potential, he's gone. Chop Robinson, same situation. Go ahead, TD.
Oh no, my bad. No, well, Waddle had a bad quarterback too. Just saying, but
yeah, no,
yeah, it was funny today though when Chop Robinson, when he was like, "Hey man, you set the edge today." That was I like that. He was talking to Chop Robinson, Jeff Hafley, and obviously they know he can't set the edge. Just to even emphasize that, and then to say, you took what we taught you in individuals to teams, which means when they were in individuals working on technique, they critiqued him on something, and he was executing that properly in team sessions during the real game play. So who knows, man? These guys, man, they may be getting coached up better than they ever have too. That's something to think about with all of 100%. Them. That I'm excited about. And I see a lot of people watching on my channel. I'm about to end that stream because I want y'all to come over to this channel and make sure you subscribe and watch it over here because I went live on mine just to let y'all know that I'm over here. Okay. So click the link that I just dropped in the comment section. Come over to this channel because I'm about to drop it off this channel real soon. So y'all come over here and show your love and support.
Appreciate you, TD, 100%. No, and again, you bring up a great point. Which players that a lot of people are like, hey, we're about to get rid of this guy, Chop, right? Savanea here. those guys might be a product of their environment. They got this new coaching staff, guys that believe in them, maybe guys that push them. They, Sully talks about competition, puts a fire under their ass. Holy crap, wait a second. Salmonella is a really great right guard, which I thought he would be. Maybe that happens. Kenneth Grant, oh my gosh, one of the top tackles in the league, possibly. That could be the case. I did see something in the comments about Patrick Paul getting traded. I don't see that at any point in time. There's no way. He was one of those pillars. I mean, the guy's massive. Not yet, we'll see, right? Hand to God. But so talking about players in the hot seat, but let's flip this around. Let's talk about guys that maybe played below expectations, TD, that you think has the potential to be a breakout star, or maybe that breakout guy that we go, hey man, like you just said, Kenneth Grant. Oh, now we can move on from Sealer. Who's one of that guy that you think, like, that you're like, man, I feel really good about his potential going in next year with this new kind of this new surroundings, this new environment?
It's the guy that everybody keeps saying, okay, about. I think that this guy is going to break out and shock everybody. And I'm not giving you the name yet. I'm building it up. I believe in his talent.
I love it.
I believe in his talent. He's fast. He's unique. And I think he's going to get even stronger being in the NFL. When you really put the work in, your body's transform as well in the NFL, even after college. And I think he will. But that's Caleb Douglas. That's Caleb, a wide receiver. I think that he's going to shock everybody in like every game. He's going to get him one of those big balls. He's going to get him one of those 45, 50-yard deep passes down the sideline, go up and get it, one every game, at least one every game. He's going to be that threat, and he's going to probably make a few more catches outside of that. Like he can low-key pull down a 50-yarder every week, grab a 7-yarder that goes for 22 because of his yak, and then grab a nice route on the, intermediate and end up with 80 plus 90 yards in many games. And I think that's what he's going to be, and he's going to be huge for us because when you look at this offense, you shouldn't question anything other than the wide receiver core, but I'm higher on them because they're a unit. We actually have a unit. You're not just like, oh, he's the go-to guy. Man, you got a unit. You don't know where it's coming from. We got catching tight ends. We got receivers that we put a priority on that have specific skill sets for a scheme. And I just think that Tutu and those guys, I think our offense is going to thrive. But this is the guy, Caleb Douglas, that I think we're going to be proud of. He's going to be what we wished that Preston Williams was supposed to be.
Preston Williams, man. No, I love that answer. I really do, because again, how many Dolphin fans when Caleb Douglas came off the board? And I remember I was in on Chris Bell. I was like, we got to get Chris Bell. And I saw Chris Bell was somebody, and then we passed on him and got Caleb Douglas. I was like, oh, but Douglas, you wanted size, he's size. You wanted speed, he's speed. He has those traits. And I think he actually, we'll get into OTAs in a second. But he actually had a great catch with Cam Miller at the quarterback. He made a great catch over the top. So there's that potential there because no one's expecting anything. So when he shows up and shows out, people are going to freak out because they're like, how the hell did this happen? So I cannot wait for these young wide receivers and what they can do. Again, Chris Bell and Caleb Douglas, I have so much excitement for. And we talk about Jeremiah Smith. If Malik Willis works out, imagine adding him to that room. But imagine if these two blow up and blow out, and it's like with Malik Washington, then you might like, hey, now we could go look at the edge rusher position, or maybe go look at the D-line position.
Because we didn't talk about Chris Bell, who's coming back. I think we have some monsters that can really get some yak and are fast and shifty. I think this is going to be a fun season. If Chris Bell is back too, it's going to be a fun season.
Let me tell you who's mine, man, because we've talked about Devon Achane and what Achane can do with this new and improved defensive line. Let me tell you a guy that I love going into. Like, Chris Bell was my draft crush. You hear that, learn. They asked me on 305 Sports Bay. They're like, hey, who's your draft crush, Bobby? And I said, you know what? This year was Chris Bell. I was like, I didn't want to go with a first-round guy. I'm going to go with a guy who I think might go in the second round. I'm surprised where he went. But Chris Bell coming off an injury, I think if he comes back healthy and ready to go, this is a first-round player. This is a guy who could be your number one guy or potentially your number two guy if you go get Jeremiah Smith the year after. But my draft crush the year before, and forgive me, TD, I'll say this like I say it all the time. Everybody knows who watches. Ollie freaking Gordon. Ollie Gordon, I think, has the potential to be your breakout star. We're talking about Devon Achane, what Achane can do. We know what Achane can do with a bad offensive line. I know what he can do with a great offensive line or a better offensive line. I think Ollie Gordon, now when you could move Achane out right and you're focused on running the ball, not just how many carries you get, like 99 carries last year, 79, I don't know what it was, 79, I think, 199 yards, 3 touchdowns. I could see him getting over 100 carries, but also 800 yards, 8 touchdowns. I could see what I saw when I watched him in Oklahoma State the year before when he was a Heisman running guy, and then, of course, struggled the year after. I believe in this kid. I think this is your breakout potential star where we're going, holy crap, we actually got 2 backs. We got a speedster who could ride out, who's obviously one of the elite guys, and we got a power back. This is your power back. I think Ollie Gordon is that guy.
Ooh, man, that's just tough for me because you paid Achane. He's going to have to be a 3-down back now. Achane is going to have to be a 3-down back. Nobody's talking about this either. What I mean by they're not talking about it, in McDaniel's system, it's about keeping those fresh legs and rotating guys in. So the running back room is typically was shared under McDaniel, and the way that he kept that going is by lining Achane up outside sometimes too, in the slide and different stuff, to give Ollie and those guys some reps, get them some playing time. But now I don't think we're doing that anymore. I think we're now more formal football. Hey, you're our back, you're our 3-down guy. When you get tired, you let Ollie know. Hey, come spare me. No, seriously, because some guys in the league, those guys that have that. Derrick Henry just plowed you over for 70. He might call it back up and sit out one and then run back in after 2 plays. But that's his call. That's typically his call. He gets to choose, when he's tired. And because sometimes coaches don't want to put too much load, but when you start paying a guy like that, hey, man, you give us everything you got. And you let us know when you're tired. I'm not splitting anything. This is your backfield. And when you tired, if Ollie gets the second reps, let Ollie know. And I think that's what we're about to switch to. That's a different type of football than what we used to.
Sammy, you're a breakout player.
Yeah. Well, Bobby, I always told you about how defensive tackles usually develop late, So many Paul Soliai, even Christian Wilkins by year 2. Many people thought he was a bust. I'm gonna go with Jordan Phillips just because of the fact that last year as a late draft pick he played very, very well, exceeded expectations. This year the reports are he came looking great, on weight, stronger and bigger than ever. So those are good news. So if he takes the jump this year, can you imagine by year 3? So Jordan Phillips is gonna be the pick for me.
Jordan Phillips, that would be beautiful.
Yes,
it would be beautiful.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, and the defense needs Jordan Phillips to to be that player, because Saxon might even play defensive end in this defense because you need to set up the edge. You don't have a lot of pass rush. You're gonna have to get creative. So I would not be surprised if Saxon plays defensive end so many times, and you have Grant and Phillips and Saxon all playing together. So hopefully the reports are wrong on Grant, so I don't have great expectation for him from so far. But it's a long training camp. It's Miami. You're gonna sweat it out. We'll have to wait and see. So hopefully those reports are wrong. But Jordan Phillips will be the hope for this defense because if he comes to play, this defense is gonna be so much better.
Absolutely, and Jordan Phillips, man, I can't do that. Like you want to say he's been better than Kenneth Grant.
So far it's been.
Come on, man. Kenneth Grant has to turn that corner this year and be a much better player. And but that's a good sign for us that Jordan Phillips is continuing to grow, and we hope he takes that next step this year, like you said, because the more guys that we already have in house, the better our future is going to be. And I'm just banking on this new regime actually doing the work, coaching and having accountability. Don't make the same mistake twice to help these young guys get better. Real coaching, most people don't notice it until you see it. You see players developed on a roster. Let me ask you a question. Can you tell me the player that Mike McDaniel developed other than a 1-year tour under his coaching staff? Tell me the player that was developed. I'm not talking about they were balling out since day one like Devon Achane. See, that's all Mike McDaniel, Achane, but that's not development. When you hit the ground running day one, you're just a baller. You're just a baller. But who struggled and now they are really good under Mike McDaniel? That's the problem. That's always been our problem. We don't develop anyone. So I'm hoping that's what they're doing this year with the young guys.
And you talk so much, Bobby, the draft time, that the goal for this regime was to draft and develop. Twist said it so many times. That was the goal. So as he's saying, it's really key. It's really important for you. To those guys, not only the ones they drafted. The draft last year was, look good at the beginning, but it's been really disappointing. So they have to find a way to go back to last year's draft and find a way to develop some players. That's going to be huge for this team.
Do you know last year's draft can make or break this season? If this year's draft, everybody can hit. But if last year's draft doesn't, we may not be as good as we would like. But if they turn out to be good, and you know what? I'm just talking really about two players, Jonas Savanaya and Kenneth Grant. If both of them turn the corner and are at least middle of the pack in the NFL, if there's 120 guards, be 60 instead of 121 out of 120. So if those two guys can really turn that corner and be middle of the pack in the NFL, we got a good team. Like, what problem? We got 5 guys on the O-line if Austin Jackson's healthy. It's beautiful, and I'm banking on it. I'm Mr. Optimistic right now. I just want to see it come to fruition.
Let's talk about optimism right now, because we look at that schedule, and my thing always about this team right now for fans, because we know how it is, TD. You go into the season, you're 10-game stretch, whatever, we're losing record. Oh, the team sucks. Fire everybody. I keep talking about it. Hey, look, go into the season with no expectations. It's not about how many games we could win. It's about how Malik Willis responds after having a bad game, or when he throws a pick, how does he come back and play? It's about Coach Hafley. If he has a bad game management, costs you the game, how does he respond the week after? And when he calls defensive, like, that's what this game's about. This season, watching growth. Savanaya, like you said, from 120, does he get up to 60, 50? That's the top guard, and at right guard, does he live up to that potential? Kenneth Grant, do we see growth out of him? What does the secondary do? That's how it is for me. What are your season expectations? You look at the schedule. I'm sure you've digested it. You kind of looked at it. When you look at this team, how many wins? What are your expectations going in next year? And what would you like to see from this team next year, this next season coming up?
11 wins.
Oh, wow.
11 wins. That's right. Very aggressive. I don't want to hear this 2 games, 5 games. This 2 game, 5 game stuff, man. Listen, man, we going out there to compete. Like, people are about to learn, in my opinion, the difference a real culture, number one, makes. The difference players that will fight you on the field and give all they got. High motor guys that really want to go after it. I just think that our coaches are smart. Everything they're doing is calculated and is smart and is based off of odds and what makes the most sense for the team. And I expect that to come out in their coaching and their game planning against teams on a week-to-week basis. And we're going to shock everybody this year. So my ceiling is 11, which I want to hit the ceiling. And my floor is 8. Sometimes I push down to 7. But my floor, I'm going to go 8, but I ain't mad at a 7 floor right now.
Well, let me ask you this. I love this. I love positive TD, man. It's awesome.
Mega
it's
positive.
This is amazing.
Positive.
But I want to ask
we got a real quarterback.
There it is. Let me ask you, man. It's not obviously you're not worried about the quarterback position. What position are you most worried about? Is it defensive line? Is it the secondary? Secondary for me. What position are you most concerned with this football team going into next year?
Well, I got to go with 2 positions. The edge, obviously, but I think they'll address that with the veteran come June. But that's a concern, the edge. Okay. Number 2 is who's going to be opposite of Chris Johnson. That spot over there. I'm not worried about safeties. Like, you can have good safeties that play corner, and like, honestly, safety is one of the easiest positions to coach up if you got a smart player being sound. Now, their ability with the ball matters, but long as you teach them to be in the right place. That's all you need. And a great defensive coach, they'll give you, like, a great defensive coach, they're going to always have 2 good safeties that don't show up as being good safeties, because their scheme will make sure that their safeties are protected and just making sure nothing gets over the top and attacking downhill when necessary in the run game. That's what we're probably going to do. Don't let anything get over top, cover 2. And when you see that ball handed off, go ahead and attack downfield and make sure you're one of the first trying to get there before anybody. So all that, multiplicative play over the middle and zones and different that, I don't think that's what we're going to run, because we're thin in the secondary. They're going to base it out. Cover 2.
I love it. TD, man, I know, first off, again, it's been a minute. I am so grateful for you to take the time out of your busy schedule. Come on here, talk some Dolphins with us, man. Again, TD, PHI, Bobby Phins, FIN. This is, long distance cousins, so I love that you guys took the time to come out here and then do this, my brother. So tell me what you got going on. Let everybody know what you got going on with the collective, with Roundtable Sports. I know how busy you are, my man. Let us know.
Yeah, the collective pushing forward, I think it speaks for itself. Got a good group together where we're just having fun and talking Dolphins football. We're going to continue to build over there. And your friends of the channel, all right? Also, Roundtable Sports, man, this divisional coverage. We're a full network, obviously NFL credentialed, and we're building something special, so if you're a fan watching of another team, we have a roundtable for you to enjoy. So like the divisional roundtable, AFC East roundtable, all of that good stuff. So come check it out. And last but not least, TD Phins Talk, we're kicking along. Come join us tomorrow. I don't have a specific time, but look for the notifications. It's the 8-year anniversary of my channel, and I just want to, talk to people and kick back, relax, ain't even Dolphin talk, just you've reflected on the last 8 years because I enjoy what I do. And I'm pretty sure you guys are, starting to get into that realm of, how you feel about, content creation and covering the team you love. So, yeah, man, if you want to come hang out with me on that tomorrow, feel free to. But those who are watching on my channel, y'all got to do me a favor, all right? You got to come over here and rock with these fellas. These are great guys. These are guys who represent our team very well, and they're about the success of our team. All right, through and through. And that's what's most important above all. So show your love. Click the link that I'm dropping literally right now in the comment section. All you got to do, even if you just say, well, I love being over there with your TD, just click the link, go over to the channel, sub, and go back if you have to, all right? We want to make sure more people know about these guys. And the way that you can do that is hitting that like button and subscribing to their channel right now, because these are great content creators for the Miami Dolphins. And I always appreciate guys like these guys.
I appreciate you, TD, man. TD Phins Talk, man. Hopefully we get you again. I know how busy you are, but we'll man, because I love this, dude. This is amazing. And for those watching on TD, thank you so much. Yeah, again, hop on over. We cover the Dolphins. This is Phins Talk Sports Network. We cover everything. We got Heat, Dolphins, Marlins, baseball, college. We got fantasy sports. We got pro wrestling. We're covering WrestleMania 8 on Saturday. So if you're a wrestling fan, come on over too. We got it all here on FTSN. TD, my man, thank you so much for taking the time. I hope you have an amazing time, brother. Appreciate you.
Thank you, brother. And thank y'all for having me. I'll talk to you later.
Soon. Appreciate you, man. TD Phins Talk.
That was
man.
awesome.
Appreciate him. It was amazing, man. He's great, dude. Friend of the channel, friend of mine for a while.
That changed from TD. The positive TD. 2 out the door. Now we have positive TD. That alone has to give you excited. If you're not excited, but I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I feel better now. I'm ready to say, man. I was at 5 wins. Now I'm ready to say 11 wins. Let's do it, man.
Even me, because I'm gonna tell you what, during the week I'm on the ledge. Last week I tell you 2 wins.
Yeah.
I don't know where I don't know where they are yet. I still don't know where to find them. but I'm gonna double down and I'm gonna say 4. So
Yeah. What a Debbie
no,
Downer you are. You waited
no,
for T to come up 4. No, it's all right.
yeah, you didn't ask me. I was ready to to tell him. I like the positivity. I want to give him my answer and phone number so you can call Matt. About how the Dolphins going to go undefeated next year, because I'm sure when I ask Matt later during the season what's going to be the record, Matt's going to say that the Dolphins are going to go undefeated as he always does. So I still don't know where they're going to get those wins. But right now, I feel, for what I'm seeing, Jeff Havley, the way he's dealing with the team, coaching the staff, Achane coming back, I'm going to double down. Right now, I'm up for it. The ceiling, the bottom still 2. So.
No, hey, look, you know what? It's good. Right. I'll tell you what I'm excited about this team. With the wins, it's different, but I'll tell you why I'm excited for this team. Again, what we talked about with TD at the top of the show, this shared vision. Like, we don't know what the end game is going to be with the season, but I love what these guys are doing in regards of executing their plan. Like everything they said, and this is what they're going to do. They've been doing it.
That's an 8. Yes.
Yeah, that right there is what I'm excited about, because now it's not like, hey, this guy's going this way, that guy's going that way. Coach and GM are in 2 separate directions. Ross is kind of taking a backseat. Silman's taking over. Troy Aikman's involved. Like, that's what I'm excited about. It's a different era of Miami Dolphins football. Doesn't mean we're going to win next season. Could happen though. Like, especially with the way with what TD's saying with the quarterback. If it could hit, look what Houston did after an off season of everybody on the same boat. So it could, but more realistically, or at least my point of view, is what we should be excited about is that we got a regime now in place in the front office and at the coaching staff that all have the same vision and then go in the same direction. That's what's excited about.
They had such a good off season that we have forgotten the mess the cap mess they already inherited, because you have to take into consideration.
Exactly.
Fans already forgot that we had to cut Tua, take that loss, call Tyreek Hill, take that loss, Bradley Chubb, take that loss, and so many others. So they done so good that people already forgot about that. They think but you're still in a mess. The percentage of that money this team is still a record-breaking mess. So they done such a great job that right now people forget. But the reality is this team is handicapped. A lot of young players. We had to scrap so much talent. So it's great that they've done so good that people have forgotten. But you have to be realistic. This team is handicapped. Young players, players that other teams basically didn't want, or to do well, etc. It's tough. It's gonna be tough. I can get excited about the fact that they're doing great. They had a great draft. I like the way Jeff Havley conducts himself as a coach, but they're still handicapped. So that's what gives me optimism. Next year they're gonna have a lot of money under the cap. The year after too. So they have a lot of building blocks. So hopefully. Malik Willis is the player many people believe he is. Me, I think he's still a rookie. If you ask me, he has 4 starts. After being cut, traded from Tennessee. He has to prove it. He has to stay in the pocket. He has to make some good decisions. And again, like I told you, if Tua wasn't good enough because he wasn't good enough to lead this team over adversity, that's the same rule I want for Malik Willis. He has to overcome. He has to be a difference maker, talent or not. I'm not expecting to have 4,000 yards and 35 touchdowns. I don't expect this team he leads this team to 12 wins, but that's the rule. That's the goal now. They have to do it because that's the way they say about Tua. Tua is he's not good enough to leave this team over adversity. I'm sorry. That's the same rule that we had to take for Malik Willis. And I like Malik. And in other areas, he's much more talented than Tua. Hopefully, he's more and more durable too. Because last year he proved that he took a pounding in Green Bay at times running the ball. So we have to wait and see.
We'll see. Linda, first time watching the channel. I appreciate you, Linda. Fins up. Thank you so much. Hopefully you subscribe and you stick with us. This is Phins Talk today here on FTSN, powered by FTSN and Phins TV, sponsored by Caneswear, talking Dolphins football. We just had a great guest, friend of the channel, TD Phins Talk. Appreciate him. And those who are still watching on from TD's channel, thank you so much. Hop on over. We put the link down there. Join us here on FTSN. Subscribe to the channel so you catch some more great Dolphins content and also sports content. We do it all here on FTSN Phins Talk Sports Network. Man, again, appreciate TD, what's up? What's next for FTSN? Again, we continue, even though it's still the off season. We got fantasy sports content with Fantasy Now Plus. We got a new podcast here on the channel with Beer Sports Whatever with Mike Brown and his pops, talking all types of sports, Dolphins, Houston, NBA, and Major League Baseball. They got it all there, sports and entertainment. For Saturday, we're going to be recapping WrestleMania Rewind series continues on No Holds Barred Wrestling podcast, recapping WrestleMania 8. We had Ric Flair taking on the Macho Man. You've got Hogan taking on Sid Vicious. We got it all. We got it all. Yeah. So make sure you check on that if you're a wrestling fan, especially historic wrestling fan. Kevin Grant says, guys, Malik is a bridge quarterback. Sorry. Possibly. Maybe. He could be. Maybe. He could be. Yes. Right? I mean, again, we'll see what if he gets it's up to him to get past that label, right? Because right now you can say that. That's absolutely fair for all the reasons we talked about. But at the same time, he's young enough to take that label off and be the guy. Can he do it? We'll see. Sammy, what's going on with Phins TV, my man? I know you guys are on hiatus. Any plans?
Oh, baby, we're still on hiatus, and I'm feeling good because, content creating, my hats off to you, to TD Phins Talk, to all the guys on Phins Nation doing content during the off-season because it is rough. But when Phins TV, of course, we're going to be back. We're going to be back probably by the beginning of next month. When training camp starts, probably the last OTA, we're going to be back with the Phins TV crew. Matt Anstons, Shari Haddett, Steve Haddett, Adrian Rainey, and Jason Sarney. What of course here, Phins TV, the alliance, the flagship of FTSN, Phins Talk Today here every Thursday at 8 p.m.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. And guys, again, sponsored by Caneswear. If you're a Dolphins fan, they got it. If you're a Miami sports fan, they've got it all. Dolphins, Hurricanes, Florida Panthers, Miami Heat, Marlins, anything South Florida sports, go to Caneswear, 2655 South University Drive in Davie, Florida. But if you're anywhere other than Davie, Florida, if you're in Puerto Rico like Sammy, or if you're residing in Nashville like me, or in Delaware, or Texas like Steve, or Canada like Finstanza, if you're anywhere other than South Florida, go to Caneswear.com. They ship it fast. They ship it to you. Great gear, great merch, great prices. Caneswear. Go check them out. And again, we said it at the beginning. Yes, Sammy.
Bobby, congrats on that Super Bowl. You're going to get a Super Bowl near you. So
yes,
awesome.
Yes. Great news. Super Bowl's coming to Nashville. Now, I just let for full disclosure, let everybody know, I'm Nashville right now in Franklin, but I grew up in Miami and Hialeah, so I'm a Dolphins fan, born and raised and all that. So, and everything's South Florida, but I live in Nashville right now, and Nashville's got the Super Bowl in 2030. So you know what my prayer is? My prayer is, Lord Almighty, get me the Dolphins in the Super Bowl in 2030 because I'm already here. And hopefully by that time we got credentials and we're going to be at the game.
If we get it, I don't care. Before I'm gone, 2030, 2031, 32, I don't care. Before my lifetime, I want to see a Dolphins Super Bowl. Of 100%. Course, I Super Bowl
win.
So
yes.
Yes.
That's the main thing. We want to see a win above everything else. Oh, man. But we said at the beginning, we said it in the middle. We're going to say it at the end here, guys. If you're watching anywhere other than the Phins Talk Sports Network YouTube channel, do me a favor, hop on over. First off, thank you for watching. We appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedules to join us, talk Dolphins, listen Dolphins, everything above. Come on over to FTSN, the Phins Talk Sports Network, FINS, Phins Talk Sports Network. Subscribe to the channel. We appreciate you guys joining us. Also, go to Phins TV, even though they're on hiatus. You don't want to miss that in-season content. It's one of the best out there. Great panel, funny, great graphics. Sammy kills it all the time. But also, of course, here on FTSN, subscribe to the channel. If you're watching anywhere other than TD Phins Talk, of course, go subscribe there because TD kills it everywhere he goes. We appreciate him. Yeah. Till then, guys, no matter what, win, lose, draw, Malik Willis, Tua Tagovailoa, Dan Marino, Jay Fiedler, Dave Wantset, Coach Halfley, whomever it is, no matter what, always like, subscribe, and most importantly, fins up. We'll see you guys on the other side.